Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's off of White Rock, Dallas, Texas. As always, please make sure you are pressing that thumbs up or like button for this video, as well as give me a follow on Instagram. My handle is at GrowFolds. If you have any questions about the plants or just want to contact me directly, that is the fastest and most direct way to do so. Today is a beautiful cloudy afternoon. I went ahead and went to Dallas, Texas to go explore this Lowe's location. I've been going further into the actual downtown Dallas. This one is actually pretty close to Peta's Planters, my favorite plant shop in Dallas. But you know, I haven't done a big box store plant shopping video in a while, so we're going to go explore that. But before we do that, I did want to announce that my YouTube membership tier, the Super Plant Foldies, now has the official music soundtracks getting uploaded. The first upload was Charlotte, which is dedicated to my Barred Rock hen. So definitely check that out. Definitely join my YouTube membership tier. It is only for $2.99. And if you're ever going big box store plant shopping, definitely download Lowe's app. Lowe's has deals that are available. For instance, these are Costa Farms trending tropical plants in self-watering planters. This one is a beautiful silver Inducan for originally $19.98, but it is on sale. Lowe's deals for only $14.98. So all of these 6-inch trending tropical plants are on sale for $14.98 if you have the Lowe's app, My Lowe's Rewards loyalty program app. I love looking at that fixture where they have trending tropical plants by Costa Farms. Most of these Lowe's will have some type of arrangement like this, where they'll have hanging baskets, self-watering planters, trending tropical plants. I mean, let's take a look at this. $14.98. It is on sale. This is another Monstera Stadliana, also known as the Monstera Cobra, $14.98. So I'm really liking the fact that they have these trending tropical plants by Costa Farms on sale. We've got an Epipremnum Aureum, Golden Pothos. This one is for $15.98. That is the 6-inch self-watering planter standards that Costa Farms has. But as far as Lowe's deals, My Lowe's Rewards, you definitely need to make sure that if you're going to be shopping at Lowe's, you download the Lowe's app on your phone so you can save some money. So we're going to go ahead and walk through here, and even my first impressions being in a Lowe's location in the heart of Dallas, Texas. So these are the Dallas, Texas Lowe's locations. Typically, whenever I do big box store plant shopping, I usually go to Lowe's locations out in the suburbs, whether it's Frisco, Plano, Allen, McKinney, Prosper. Now we're going actually in the heart of Dallas. So this is downtown Dallas. This is in the White Rock area, and you'll see that this is super full. I love the fact that these plants are organized, but not only organized, they are actually merchandised and organized in a way where they're going to be very inspiring to pick up, like this silver Inducan for $14.98. Again, it is on sale. I love the fact that they merchandise these plants by the type of plant. I love the colors. I mean, take a look at this Calathea rospicta. Now, this one is a standard self-watering planter by Costa Farms. This one is for $15.98. And you know, care tips for Calatheas, you want to make sure that you are giving them a little bit higher humidity levels. If you're able to water them with purified or distilled water, that is best. And they do not like to stay dry for too long. You want to make sure you keep the soil moist. If you group them with other plants to increase the humidity community, they prefer that as well. And then over here, we've got an Epipermnum alplissimum, or what you call the silver streak pothos. This one is labeled as golden pothos, but this is the silver streak pothos. I love the narrow leaf, but also the metallic silver shine it has. And then plant foldies, we're gonna go ahead and walk around over here. I do miss going big box store plant shopping. You know, last week I celebrated my birthday. I had a lot of fun. I treated myself to plants. In about 16 days, I will be going to PlantCon 2025 in New York City. It has been forever since I've been to New York City. I think it's been more than, I would say 18 years. And so I'm really excited to be going there. It is going to be a quick turnaround trip, but for those that want to see some amazing PlantCon footage from New York City, definitely make sure you have already pressed the subscribe button with all the notification bell on. I will have hours of content, and you know, Cultivation Corner will be there as well. Janae Simone and Steven of I Live Plants, my co-host for that plant podcast that some of you guys may have forgotten, but I promise you guys, we are just delaying season 3. Our schedules haven't really lined up, but we are hoping to get that started and start filming those episodes. So for those that haven't, definitely do a search on YouTube called Cultivation Corner. Definitely binge watch season 1 and 2. Let me know how that goes. But in terms of the plants, again, plant foldies, I'm just gonna walk around here and we're gonna go show you some more of these plants. But before we get into that, I do want to go outside since it is slightly drizzling. It was a little bit rainy when I got there, so it's not super hot. And we're gonna take a look at some of the plants that are outdoors. You already know I like indoor tropical plants, but I also love outdoor plants. So we are now at the Lowe's Garden Center, the outdoor garden center, and you see they have a couple of Costa Farms 6-inch hanging baskets. This one is a beautiful Epipermnum pinnatum Cebu Blue pothos. This one is in a 6-inch planter for only $16.98. Right next to it is we have a beautiful Fittonia, but we also have a lipstick pagoda plant. You know, lipstick plants remind me somewhat similar to Hoyas. I really like the patterns on this leaf. They behave similar to Hoyas. I don't own a lipstick plant, but that would be another plant that I would say is durable, just like a Hoya. Petunias, I love the pink veining. Unfortunately, even though this is only for $16.98, I don't think I could grow this in my houseplant collection long term because it does require a lot of water. And you know, that's the thing, plant foldies, we talk about plant care tips. You really have to assess how much time you have available for your plants. I would say if you are somebody that is always on the go like me, where I am really trying my best to create meaningful plant content on YouTube on a daily basis, plus I'm having a very demanding career where I'm working a minimum of 10 hours. I am salaried, so sometimes if the work's not done, I'm gonna have to put in a little bit more time. That means you're going to have to find plants that are either low light tolerant and drought tolerant, and that is really my definition of an easy care plant. Those two characteristics really make for a plant that can fit somebody's busy schedule. I mean, you can see here Epipermnum aureum, or what you call pothos plants, are one of them. If on the left we're passing by a bunch of Dracaena mesangianas, or what you call cane Dracaenas, those are also easy to care for plants. Beautiful cordyline Hawaiian tea plant. That red maroon tone is beautiful, but that is another plant that is very much spider mite prone if you were to try to grow that indoors. So I would just say that one would need to be more of a patio plant. But you know, these pothos plants right here, these golden pothos, are only for $19.98 in an 8-inch hanging basket, and you can see that these are trailing. I really love trailing pothos. They make a very stylistic look, and all of my hanging baskets that are a bit more challenging to grow indoors, literally plant foldies, I have just taken all of my quote house plants that I was growing indoors, and they're literally jam-packed. outdoors in my shaded patio area, and it is so much easier to take care of those plants. I mean, literally I have sprinklers that will sprinkle them with water automatically. I use a hose to hose them down, and they're a little bit more vigorous in their growth whenever you're growing indoor tropical plants outdoors in a shaded area. I would say definitely put them in an area where it gets that east facing morning sunlight and protection from the hot afternoon western sun, and you are good to go. Now we're gonna go ahead and walk around over here. We did see some succulent arrangements. Love that. Fall is around the corner, and if you go to big box stores like Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, Target, those major 4 big box stores to go shopping, you will see that they're already bringing out fall decor, whether it's Halloween, and also in terms of seasonality, croton plants. So this is a croton petra. You will see a lot of crotons popping up in the fall seasons, typically around August, September. Definitely by October, November, you will see so many different varieties of crotons. My thing about crotons, and this one is for $16.98, is crotons are really not a seasonal fall plant. And I say this because croton plants are actually native to Southeast Asia, the Caribbean. They need hot, and I say they need hot, humid environments. They thrive in full sun, and I would just say fall in the United States, we have shorter days, which means there's not as much light. It's definitely colder, and I would even say crotons absolutely hate cold weather. They start to drop their leaves. So it's just interesting how these plants are produced for a decoration purpose, which to me seems more wasteful, because at the end of the day, it does take a lot of time to produce these plants. You have to think about the amount of water, the amount of soil substrates, the amount of work it's placed to grow these plants that will only be grown for maybe a good 4 weeks, if that, because I don't really see a lot of people taking care of crotons past the fall season. You know, people will utilize that as a fall patio decorative plant, but really it is not conducive to our environments. And you know, plant foldies, I am a little bit chatty today just because I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys plant insights. I know that last week for my birthday celebration week, I was really highlighting a lot of local and small businesses, because I just feel like that is where my heart is, alongside with big box stores. And so I want to give you guys some commentary. $12.98. For instance, this is the Arabian jasmine in the Philippines, which is where my family is originally from. I am a proud Filipino American. This is actually the national flower of the Philippines. The Arabian jasmine, also known as sampaguita, which is what we say in Tagalog, the native language of the Philippines. You already know, plant foldies, I love to give you guys tidbits about my heritage. If you haven't already, I know that there's a couple of plant foldies that have actually watched some of my old school plant tourism videos. It is a playlist where I showcase my trip to the Philippines, and you will be amazed, like literally amazed, by all of the beautiful indoor tropical plants we growing outdoors in the Philippines, and they're just living their best life. Speaking of best life, I have to also highlight the fact that I love lantanas and also portulaca plants. These are also known as perennials, which basically grow year after year back depending on your grow zone. So my grow zone is 8B. You have to really do your research on your grow zones, because if you don't know, some plants might be a perennial, some plants might actually be an annual, which grows only as a one growing season. For instance, we're looking at all of these beautiful bougainvilleas. If I were to grow this beautiful variegated bougainvillea, this is the raspberry ice. This would only be considered an annual if I were to grow it in my landscape, because bougainvilleas cannot tolerate cold weather. You know, with North Dallas, we get ice, we get snow, and this plant is just not a deciduous plant. A deciduous plant is actually a plant that will lose its leaves and actually go dormant. This is actually an evergreen type plant where it will just grow pretty much throughout the whole growing season. And so in my grow zone, unfortunately, this beautiful, highly variegated bougainvillea, which actually requires full sun, will not be able to grow long term in my landscape. Now, if you were to try to grow this as a plant where you can overwinter them, basically growing them in a container and then taking them indoors, it does give the plant a lot of stress where this plant may end up losing a lot of its foliage, and it's just kind of gonna be kind of stagnant. And that's what happens with a lot of plants that we overwinterize. Plant foliage, let me know in the comment section if you've actually attempted to grow some plants over the winter where you have snow and ice. How does that work for you? Please leave that in the comment section, because like I said, I'm hearing from the plant foldy community, and the ones that actually join the live premiere chats, which are typically scheduled at 7 p.m. Central Standard USA time. I appreciate you. Let's keep chatting. Let's engage with each other. Let's interact, because that's what makes this community fun. So I'm just going to keep showing you some of these beautiful bougainvilleas. Let me know what you think. And if you are currently growing bougainvillea, what are your plant care tips? You can just see the beautiful bougainvillea forest that they have at this Lowe's location. And that's the thing about just going to big box stores. I think the selection of plants, the cost effectiveness of their plants, and just being able to walk around and really practice mindfulness, that's something that is free. So you don't necessarily have to go to a big box store and spend all your money. Oftentimes, or at least recently, I've spent some money, but most often now, whenever I go, quote, big box store plant shopping, it's really just me window plant shopping and really looking at the plants and just enjoying all of the beautiful foliage. There is something to be said about just admiring foliage and just looking at plants. There is a calming effect, and I've really had to lean in and utilize that, just especially when life gets tough, when things get stressful, whenever you are battling either anxiety or depression. I would say take yourself out there, move around, get you some vitamin D, get you some light, be out and about, and surround yourself with plants. That's one of my positive messages that I try to insert in all of my videos, and hopefully that advice will resonate with somebody that might be struggling. I would even say that I've actually struggled just the weeks leading into my birthday, but I am in a better spot. I've been able to really create boundaries for myself where I don't necessarily feel like I have to push myself to create content. I know you guys have really shown me a lot of grace. I hate the fact that I want to try to make daily 1-hour plant shopping videos, but things sometimes get in the way, and sometimes, to be quite transparent, I just want to rest and not do anything. So for those that understand and are still with me. I really appreciate you. And speaking of appreciating, take a look at these granite or these terracotta planters. Love this aesthetic. That is the look that I like. And then how about these Talvera planters that are made in Mexico? This one is for $39.98, but there is a very distinct look with these planters. And, you know, as far as plant styling, I've talked about possibly doing more of that type of content. I just haven't had a chance to do so. You know, I really try to commit to certain things, but then sometimes things get in the way where you get redirected to do something else. But I do like the stylistic approach of some of the people that actually grow plants. I think the more curated approach is actually a more meaningful approach rather than going and plant hoarding. Admittedly, I would say that I'm literally hoarding Aglonema. You know, for those that have guessed, I have more than 200 plus Aglonema, and yes, I am going to be getting more Aglonema from my friend Leaf Crafter on Instagram. And special thanks to artgarden.flowers on Instagram. My friend Riki and his staff will allow me to pick up those Aglonema from overseas at PlantCon. So I mean, I just can't stop, you know, buying Aglonema. I don't know if anybody else is in this boat where like you fall in love with a specific plant genus and you just can't stop yourself from buying a variety that you didn't have. I know that there are a couple of plant folies out there that also deal with that. So feel free to leave in the comments and your insights about that. So we are now back in the indoor tropical section, and you can hear that this is a track that I used to play a lot on my big box or plant shopping videos. The track is by my friend DJ Bang Beats. It's called You're on the Beat, and there's something to celebrate. I want you guys to dance around because look at how full this Lowe's location is. I would say that the downtown Dallas Lowe's locations that I've been to so far have been super full. I mean, you would expect that, right? Because there's a larger population. There are more people that congregate to these big box stores. And so I am just really pleasantly surprised that these Lowe's locations are looking super full with a wide selection of plants. You can see I'm picking up an Aglonema Silver Bay. We're picking up a beautiful Anthurium. This one is for $14.98. This one is by Urban Jungle. And as I mentioned in a lot of my videos, Urban Jungle is one of those plant nurseries that provides at big box stores. They have such a nice, fun style or aesthetic behind it. They're a little bit more boho. I mean, you can see right over here, Aglonema Silver Bay. This one is also by Urban Jungle for $14.98. I have talked to, or at least given suggestions to Urban Jungle plants, Proven Winner plants, Live Trends Design Plants, and of course Costa Farms plants about just starting an Aglonema trend. I'm really curious to see which big box store nursery is going to really start an Aglonema trend, because I just feel like that is one untapped plant genus that hasn't really made its popularity in the United States. If you were to look at some of the Aglonema that I'm getting from overseas, you would just be thinking, why do we not have all of these colorful varieties? You know, that kind of boggles my mind, but you know, that's the thing. Different aesthetics, different availability for plants. I know for a fact that anthuriums are basically the king of trending indoor tropical plants, but I would beg to say that as I pan around here and show you this selection of different types of Urban Jungle plants, Live Trends Design plants, and Costa Farms plants, Aglonema need to be added to that list. This one right here, look at how stunning, $14.98. This is on sale. This houseplant is on sale for $14.98. This is a beautiful philodendron golden crocodile. I mean, just look at how beautiful the neon yellowish greenish leaves are. And you can see right here, we've got a cool Phalaenopsis orchid. I love this. Look at the yellow blooms and just how it's actually hanging on this like metal plant stand. I really like that as well. And you know, when it comes to just different planters and just the aesthetics, it really just creates a different mood depending on how you display your plants. But let's just go ahead and pick up a bunch of these plants. Feel free to leave in the comment section again what you think, but I am just really happy to see that Costa Farms trending tropical houseplants are on sale right now. You are going to save money whenever you go to Lowe's and find these originally for $19.98. Now they're only for $14.98. So let's just take a gander. Let's pick up some plants. Let's celebrate the fact that we're going to be saving money potentially if you go big box store plant shopping and you have the Lowe's app. Like I said again, going big box store plant shopping, it is imperative that you already enroll yourself in these loyalty programs, whether it's at Target and you're using the Target Circle app, the My Lowe's Rewards app, or Walmart app, or even the Home Depot app. Trust me, you will get digital coupons. You can price match. You can do a lot of things with these big box store apps. So let's go ahead and just keep picking up these plants. You can see we've got some Costa Farms bonsai right over here. This is a little cute little jade bonsai, and these are only for not a bad price at all. I would call these more like pre-bonsai because there's still a lot of training to get this a really nice shape. Have you ever just looked at plants like this Dieffenbachia and you're looking at how full it is, how lush and green it is, how healthy it is, and it makes you tempted to buy the plant, but when you realize that the plant care tips, the fact that you may have already sent that type of plant to plant heaven, and you really don't need to be buying it, that is what I feel whenever I pick up a Dieffenbachia, because they do look similar to Aglonemas, but there is just more care that's required for a Dieffenbachia. So for me, and you can, take my my advice, I wouldn't necessarily call that a beginner plant. These plants, however, that I'm picking up, these pothos plants right here, this global green pothos on sale originally for $19.98. Lowe's Deals has it for $14.98. Love that green on green variegation. This is another easy to care for plant. Any pothos plant is going to be a lot easier to take care of as compared to other plants. Now you can see right here, we've got a philodendron ring of fire. And one thing I discovered about philodendron ring of fire is the variegation is very much so reliant on the amount of light you give it. So if you don't give it a lot of bright indirect light, it will end up having more of a greenish tone. Same thing with the philodendron golden crocodile. Those serrated philodendrons are really reliant on just the lighting conditions. Now this one right here is an urban jungle plant, and this is another Aglonema that I often feature. This is called the Aglonema Golden Bay. You can see that it looks like the silver bay, but the middle part of it has more of like a yellowish golden tone, and it has white stems. White stem Aglonema is beautiful. I would say, Aglonemas, please buy yourself an Aglonema. Can we please get Aglonema trending? I know there are a lot of plant foldies that have used the hashtag popularize Aglonema. If you haven't, can we do that whenever you comment on this video, whenever you post about Aglonemas on your social media, such as Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, anywhere? Use the hashtag popularize Aglonema. Speaking of Aglonema, doesn't this Houseplants Shelby almost remind you of like an Aglonema? I love the Houseplants Shelby, but this is another plant that, those velvety textured leaves, they tend to be a little bit more spider mite prone, but needless to say, what a beautiful plant. And then we're going to be picking up this. This one is a beautiful urban jungle planter. It's a ceramic planter. I think this is for $15.98. This is a Synapsis exotica. Beautiful plant. I love the silver foliage. And plant foldies, we're just going to continue to pick up some plants, look at them, admire them. Let me know what your favorites are. Let me know what you think of this particular downtown Dallas Lowe's location. I honestly would have assumed that the suburbs actually had better big box stores, but I would say that the Dallas locations are also super full and super organized. So for me, I'm just really lucky to be out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We do have a very strong plant community, and alongside with just having a very strong plant community, we have so many options to go shopping. And that's the reason why I say don't ever let anybody make you feel bad if you are buying plants from a big box stores. It does not mean that you're out to just put a small business or a local business out of business. It means that you are shopping where the value of your money is going to be a little bit further. Although I would say big box stores don't always give you the best pricing. And that's the reason why, if you ask me where you should buy your plants, I would say go where you feel comfortable buying your plants. And then number two, do not restrict yourself to just buying your plants at, say, a big box store, because local and small businesses offer so many varieties of plants that can almost match big box store pricing, or even be better than big box stores. I would say 5 years ago, big box store plants had a bit a better edge when it comes to like comparison of pricing for local and small businesses. But now I've even seen local and small businesses. For instance, you already know Plant Foldies. I'm gonna shout out my favorite plant shop in Dallas, Peta's Planters. She has very cost-effective plant pricing for some rare and uncommon plants. And also Plant Keeper Inc. That is one of the best local nurseries in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It is Dallas's best kept secret in terms of just people not even knowing about that amazing nursery. If you guys haven't already, definitely check out my YouTube videos featuring Peta's Planters. I have a playlist called Dallas Plant Nurseries. Definitely check that out as I continue to just pick up these plants. You already know I love these Urban Jungle ceramic planters, either Urban Jungle ceramic planters or the Live Trends Design planters. They come in many varieties, like this Philodendron Hederaceum. This one is for $16.98. This is the neon variety. Such a beautiful heart leaf shape, and I love the colors as well. Foldies, would you agree that this Lowe's location just has so many varieties of plants? If you were to go in person, you would be a little bit overwhelmed because it is jam-packed with a lot of plants. But not only does this Lowe's location right off of White Rock in Dallas, Texas, they are super full, but the plants are also super healthy. Now, I did want to show you guys some more planters. Like this is a planter I've been looking at for maybe more than a year. This is a ginkgo leaf leaf planter that I've been looking at. This one is for $29.98. I would love to get it, but I just feel like spending $29.98 on a planter is a little bit high. You know, if anybody wants to go ahead and, you know, support me and fund me on that, you are more than welcome to drop a super sticker or a super thanks, which is a monetary tip that you can give a content creator on YouTube. It definitely helps me in the long run in terms of just funding my gas and some of the efforts I put into creating this content. Obviously, don't feel obligated to do so, but for those that do not know that that is an option, you can definitely do that. I've utilized a lot of the super stickers and the YouTube memberships to fund my trip to PlantCon 2025 in New York City. It definitely helped with some of my plane ticket and some of my my lodging. So I do appreciate everybody that contributes that way. But in general, when people ask me what is the best way to support me, it's literally just tuning in, clicking on my videos whenever YouTube suggested on your feed, and watching the entire video, because YouTube actually pushes videos out depending on the average duration of the video. So say you click on the video and you hit the like button, but you've watched only maybe like 5 minutes out of an hour, that kind of helps. I wouldn't even say it helps that you watched it, but I would say it doesn't help with the average watch time. So I would always tell people, if anything, if you don't have time to watch the whole video, save it for later. It will not hurt my feelings. But overall, you know, people have sent me direct messages about how that works. And basically it's viewer duration. The longer you stay engaged with the videos, the better it's going to be for my YouTube analytics. So like I said again, Plant Foldies, I am a bit chatty today, and I'm also very transparent. I've always been that way, and I always tell people to be your most authentic self. And so for me, yes, I already know that I am super repetitive. Yes, I already know that I'm very chatty to the point where some people say it's cringe. It is okay for me to be cringe, because you know what? At least I am allowing myself to be my most authentic self. And I feel like people try to change who they are, try to make adjustments to how they should go about things. But to me, if you're only doing that to try to please others, then you're never going to be comfortable in your own skin. Not sure if that really makes any sense, but I feel like there are certain people out there that really need to hear it, because I've seen certain people really struggle with feeling accepted by, you know, people around them, feeling like they can't be themselves. I say, be you. Plant Foldies, be you all the way, 150% be you, and always be kind. And I say this often in my videos as I pick up these ceramic planters, because I've watched a lot of people make YouTube plant content and Plant Foldies. Unless I am just seeing a lot of big box or plant shopping videos suggested, have y'all noticed that there are a lot of content creators that are really getting into big box or plant shopping? I feel like if there are a lot of people creating this type of content, I want to try to differentiate my content in a sense that, yes, I am showing you guys these beautiful planters. Yes, you are more than welcome to press the mute button if you don't want to hear me chat, but at least I'm offering something a little bit different in terms of just having a full-blown conversation directly to the viewer. So I don't know, Plant Foldies, let me know about your insights. Let me know what other content creators you guys have been watching, and is it just me, or am I just really seeing a lot of people do consistent big box or plant shopping videos? Feel free to leave in the comments section and let me know if there are some content creators out there that are doing the same as far as big box. Leave that in the comments so I can check out their stuff. But you can see here, Plant Foldies. Everywhere I go, everywhere I turn, you will see that this Lowe's location has so many beautiful plants. And let's talk about these carnivorous plants. Not to gaslight some of these big boxers, but oftentimes whenever I see like a Venus flytrap or some carnivorous plant, like the plant is literally baked and is mushy, but these ones look like they're super healthy. I've never really been into carnivorous plants, but you know, for those that are into this, you can actually buy them for a cost-effective price at Lowe's, at least a specific Lowe's. But let's go ahead and just keep looking and picking up some plants. Let me know your favorites. Let me know what you think. Let's start a conversation in the comments section. Let's just celebrate plants. And the track that's currently playing is called Charlotte. It is a musical track that was created specifically for this YouTube channel by my friend Jordan. If you are part of my YouTube membership tier, know that I am slowly uploading just the musical tracks on a specific playlist. So again, if you are ever interested and you're still watching this video, please consider joining my YouTube membership tier. It's literally only $2.99 and you will have access to a lot of additional perks aside from my big box or plan shopping videos. I will commit to actually having more of my lifestyle blogs. If you haven't joined, you can definitely see how I celebrated my birthday, for instance, and I will continue to upload on the YouTube membership tier. But yes, the last musical track was called Charlotte. It was named and dedicated to my barred rock hen that is growing up. I'm super excited. For those that don't know, I actually have two hens that I'm growing. I have a Rhode Island Red by the name of Catriona and another chicken by the name of Charlotte. I'm hoping that within the next 6 to 7 weeks, they will start to lay eggs. It has been an exciting journey. And, you know, I know I'm not talking about the plants that I'm picking up right now, but I will say that for the plant foldies that have been with them since day one, I remember getting them on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. That was when they were born. I had them as day-old chickens, and I just can't believe that I've been a pretty good chicken parent. There were a couple of scares. There was a moment in time where a hawk actually attacked them. Catriona actually ended up missing, and thanks to Luke, he never gave up on looking for Catriona. She ended up actually in the neighbor's backyard, and Charlotte was actually the one that kept on calling for her, and they ended up reuniting. And so for me, that was just a very hard lesson to learn, but it's a lesson that was actually very much so forgiving because I didn't lose a chicken. So aside from just, you know, showing you guys plants, I just like the fact that I've been able to kind of share a little bit more about my life, share my other interests. If you guys didn't know, I actually love to do origami. So I have many playlists on my YouTube channel, and that's really the thing. As I pick up these Costa Farms exotic angel plants, I'm just reminiscing in the fact that this has been quite a bit of a journey. You know, I've been doing big box or plant shopping videos for close to 2 years now, and we've seen our channel grow, and a lot of it has to do with just the engagement and following that you guys have so graciously gave me. So again, as I say this in all my videos, thank you, plant foldies. As much as you guys say that I do a lot for this community, you guys actually do so much for me, mentally, emotionally, and you just bring me so much joy. And I'm hoping that even though these are plants that we have talked about for so many episodes that we've seen, you guys have probably already learned a lot about these plant care tips. I think a lot of us utilize these videos just to kind of unwind and actually socialize with each other. So let's continue to pick up these plants right here. So a lot of these Costa Farms exotic angel plants are typically $5.98 in the 3-inch planters, like this Peperomia obtusifolia variegata. Say that 3 times in a row. It's kind of like when you say Hydra helix. That I think is the first time I've said it throughout the video. And you can see this is a Hydra helix, or the correct way to say it is Hedera helix, or the English ivy. This is the wonderful English ivy, and you already know the story about English ivies. They are the most challenging plant to grow indoors long term without them getting spider mites. I would even say calatheas don't get nearly as many spider mites as, say, in English ivy. So my suggestion is, if you want to grow one outdoors in a container, not in the ground, and you should be able to grow it successfully. Let's talk about these dendrobium orchids. Look at how beautiful that violet tone is next to the pastel yellow. Love that. And then you can see right over here, we've got some more Costa Farms 6-inch planters. This one is for $16.98. Super full syngonium white butterfly for $16.98. This is a Costa Farms hanging basket. And this is how Costa Farms gets you. Costa Farms gets you because they offer so many varieties of plants. They look look super full, they look super healthy, and the price is right. So as far as those that buy Costa Farms plants, feel free to leave in the comment section what Costa Farms plants you would like for them to release. I know that they recently released the Burley Marks Flame, and in a future YouTube video, I've already got it recorded. Let's just say that I finally got a hold of the elusive Trending Tropicals Costa Farms Burley Marks Flame. Stay tuned for that episode to debut sometime this week. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, we've got fern, we've got all sorts of plants. I'm just curious if anybody specifically grows Costa Farms plants or just buys a lot of Costa Farms plants. Really curious with that. I know that one of my favorite plant content creators, somebody that has actually inspired me, there's actually a couple of YouTubers that make plant content, but I would say David Morales of the Plant Fever. He does some amazing big box store plant shopping videos, and really he is one of the pioneers of this type of content. So I did want to give out a shout out to David Morales. He has done an amazing job, and I hope that I can also get to his level of followers someday. You know, he has a huge following, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, again, David is somebody that is also not as into being anybody but himself, and I really admire him for being himself, because like I said, again, as somebody that creates content, and you know, I do faceless YouTube. You haven't necessarily seen my face. Maybe some of you guys have met me in person and have seen it, but for those that are actually out there with their whole face, their whole life on social media, that takes, number one, a lot of bravery and guts, and then number two, mad respect, because it's so easy for people to judge people behind a screen name, where you can hide behind a screen name and just be critical of somebody. But I always tell people, whenever you are thinking of pressing that dislike button, whenever you are thinking about typing and pressing the send button to leave a negative comment, just think about the negative implications it could potentially have. There is a way to give constructive critiques versus just being flat out negative. That's something that I don't necessarily stand for, and I am going on a little bit of a tangent as I pick up this Epipremnum pinnatum Cebu Blue Pothos, but that's something that I have always talked about in all of my YouTube content, and that's really social media etiquette. You know, I had somebody kind of challenge me one time about, you know, there is a dislike button and, you know, that YouTube gives it an option. I would say that, but if you really dislike the content, why even engage and press the dislike button? Because whenever you do press the dislike button, there are implications with, I think, the algorithm and things like that. And you have to think, lots of people who create content, or at least the ones I know for myself in general, I pour my heart and soul and time into it. And so if it's something that you want to try to improve somebody, that's one thing. But like I said, again, before anybody really thinks about being negative, just think about your actions. Would you say that to your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your grandmother? I don't know. I mean, that's just something for you to really think about. So throughout this video, it is a little bit longer video, and I did want to point out that that's pretty cool that is a 2-in-1 special hanging basket. That's a Syngonium, a Willandii with another type of Syngonium, the Syngonium Maria. I just want everybody to kind of think about that. I mean, this is an extra long video, and I purposely filmed it because I wanted to provide a video where I can really talk freely about some of the thoughts that I have, and a lot of it is social media etiquette. I don't know, some people, they'll make YouTube videos or content to please people. I make YouTube videos and content because, number one, I love plants. Number two, this is almost like a routine in terms of I'm utilizing this as almost like a superpower to obsess on something productive. And so if that means me filming at a big box store for an hour, spending an hour to do another voiceover on top of the film, if that helps me cope with some of my OCD tendencies, then that's really why I do a lot of this content as well. And then number three, it's the community. The community we've built. There's just a lot of people that have actually tuned into this. So anyways, I forgive, ask for your forgiveness if I've really talked throughout this video more so about my insights versus the plan. So let me actually get back to the plants. So plant foldies, forgive me on that, but I will say, hopefully you guys have found some insights. Hopefully that kind of makes you guys think a little bit more, because I know I've been contemplating and thinking about just where the direction of this YouTube channel is going, and just how social media has really impacted people in a very positive way, but also on a negative aspect. Hopefully, as Plant Foldies, we represent ourselves in our community in a way where we're always going to exude that type of kindness for each other and just for ourselves. I think oftentimes we want to be our best self, but like I've said in other videos, it's okay to not be okay, as long as you know that you are moving forward and making an attempt to be better, to get out of a rut. I know that there are some people that have actually had situations where it hasn't been the best couple of days or weeks, but know that if you woke up that day, the next day, then you have another day to make adjustments or just work through some of the issues that you may have. I know that that's what I've had to tell myself the last couple of weeks. It's been super tough. I do feel bad a little bit just because I haven't been as consistent. So for those again that tune in and look at all of these beautiful plants with me, listen to my rants, you must really appreciate me for being myself. So anyways, Plant Foldies, let me just continue to pick up some plants. You can see right here another Costa Farms plant. This one is a 6-inch planter. This is a Philodendron heteroecium, just a green variety. It is a more vigorous grower. This one, I would say, if you give it bright indirect light, it's going to do very well. If you actually grow it on a totem pole or moss pole, you'll get larger leaves. This one is a Live Trends design plant. Let's take a look at what plant this is. This one is a palm. This one is another one that I haven't really been into. Palms are just really challenging to grow because they require quite a bit of light and they're spider mite prone. So that's 2 X's for me. I tend to go for plants that are what I would say more durable and forgiving, and that is low light tolerant and drought tolerant. African violets though, love them. They remind me of my grandmother. And speaking of which, for those that have inquired, my grandmother is finally home. For those that didn't know, my 90-year-old grandmother, my Lola Belen, actually had a little bit of an accident where she slipped and fractured her hip. She had to have emergency surgery. Thankfully, she's on the road for recovery. Thank you guys for always giving me the love and support for her, for all the prayers, for anybody that has sent me messages inquiring about her health. She is doing fine. She is a very resilient woman, and I check in on her daily. She did want to extend her thanks and wanted to let the Plant Foldy community know that she is doing fine, and she's thankful for all the prayers and blessings that everybody has bestowed on her. Now, let me just go ahead and continue to just walk around here, Plant Foldies, and show you all of these plants. You'll see that this Lowe's location is super full. And you can see here a Dracaena Janet Craig compacta, $14.98. Super cool looking planter, this terracotta planter that's hand painted. That's why I love urban jungles, because they have really unique ways of presenting their plants. Talk about a beautiful plant. This is an Epipremnum pinnatum, Baltic blue. This is endemic to my family's home country, which is the Philippines. But what makes this actually unique is this plant, this Epipremnum pinnatum, doesn't necessarily have to climb up a moss pole or some type of structure. It will fenestrate or split its leaves without having to actually attach itself on a pole, which makes it interesting. This one is another urban jungle plant. This one is a Ficus Audrey. I actually have mine growing in full sun outdoors, and whenever I was growing my Ficus Audrey in my master bedroom, facing the west facing window where it does get a lot of light, it just didn't really grow. But just even taking it outdoors and putting it in full sun in my backyard, it's already pushed at a lot of new growth points. So, you know, some plants, they just really thrive being grown outdoors. It's like giving them a steroid shot where they just buff up and get really vigorous in their growth. And so I always tell people, if you're struggling with a plant, if a plant's not necessarily growing, if you're trying to rehab plants, acclimate plants, like for instance overseas, take them outdoors in a shaded area and you will see the magic happen. For more light loving plants like ficus, put them out in full sun, and I'm telling you, you will get them to grow so fast. Now we're just going to go ahead and continue to pick up these urban jungle planters. This one is another peperomia for only $13.98. So in terms of cost effectiveness, I would say urban jungle plants definitely have some cost effective plant pricing. I love the leaf shape of these Epipremnum pinnatum Baltic blue, $15.98. I remember having one of these, but these ended up getting me mealy bugs, so I got scared to get it. The thing about Epipremnum pinnatum, they need a lot of bright light, but they also need to have a lot of water. They like to be more on the moist side, or at least in my opinion. Otherwise, they don't do as well. Definitely lighting conditions, because if you don't provide them enough light, they end up shooting what you call runners, where it's literally a vine, but it's not necessarily producing leaves. So make sure you have high light for any type of Epipremnum pinnatum. As far as like pothos, for instance, they're a little bit more low light tolerant. So this is a pothos lemon meringue. This is a Costa Farms discovery. That one is more reliant on the amount of light you give it. And take a look at this cool Hoya Kamingiana. So this Hoya is another Hoya that is native to the Philippines, and it's such a cool little trellis that it has. This one is a live transplant, and you know, Hoyas, for anybody that's into Hoyas, I just wish more big box stores would actually carry them. That's one thing I would say big box store plant shopping will not really provide, and that's a wide selection of Hoyas. And we already know there are many people that are into Hoyas. Now over here we have a Monstera deliciosa. Look at how beautiful the leaves are. Monstera deliciosa, the green form, that's just, classic. This one is another type of Hoya. This is the Hoya Bertonier in a 6-inch planter by Costa Farms. This one is $16.98. And we have more plants. I mean, look at how massive the selection is. So we're just going to continue to walk around and pick up some more plants here. I know I've been talking a lot about other things aside from plants. So let's just talk about plants for a minute. So $15.98. This is an Aglonema red Siam. My spiel for Aglonema red Siam is if you don't have one, please buy one. This is a cool plant. Same thing with this Aglonema electric lime. And shout out to Travis. So Travis is actually a plant foldy that posts on Instagram. He has some huge Aglonemas, and I beg for everybody to check out his Instagram page, Big Yo Plants. What an amazing collection of plants he has. And he has a huge electric lime Aglonema. Now this one is for $15.98. Really love the look of this plant as well. And it's really cost effective. Aglonemas, I would say, are slower growing, but they're so beautiful. Now, maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I've overhyped Aglonemas to myself, where people are like, Richie, an Aglonema just looks like a plain plant, but I beg to differ. Anytime I see an Aglonema, like, I am all about it. And I think it's because it's not a trending plant. And I've always been that type of person that likes to root for the underdog. I like to be somebody that marches to my own beat. I like to be somebody that may have interests that may not necessarily be as popular as everybody else's. And I feel like Aglonema as a plant, at least in the United States, is definitely the definition of that. So I encourage everybody, if you find Costa Farms Aglonema, get yourself an Aglonema red Siam. If you're lucky enough to find an Aglonema electric lime, get yourself that. Get yourself an Aglonema Anyamanie, which is a trending tropical Costa Farms. And if Justin is listening from Costa Farms, I really need you to bring some Aglonemas that Costa Farms is working on to PlantCon 2025 in New York City. I would love to just get a hold of it. I would buy it all. Please bring Aglonema from Costa Farms, because I would say Costa Farms has made it more readily available in terms of the different colorful Aglonema. Costa Farms has been really good about pushing out many different varieties to make to the general public more available. Favorite pothos plant. This is the neon pothos. I mean, look at how bright and neon color the leaves are. That is a Costa Farms exotic angel plant. This is a marble queen pothos. So both of these different types of pothos are for $8.98. Marble queen pothos, you can actually increase the variegation by giving it more bright indirect light. Higher lighting conditions will actually push out more of that variegation, and that's with any of the pothos plants. Like the Yesenia pothos plant is one that has like a really unique green on green variegation, but if you don't give it enough light, it'll turn more green. But if you increase the light, again, for instance, taking it outdoors, you will get some really light leaves. So it's really interesting if you play with the lighting conditions for pothos plants, what kind of coloration you get. Now with syngoniums, they do like to have more bright light. They tend to also become leggy if you're not providing them with a lot of bright light. Crotons, like this Croton Petra for $5.98, you definitely need to give this a lot of light. I would even say full sun for it to really thrive. And so plant foldies, I'm just going to continue to pick up the massive selection of Costa Farms houseplants. Feel free to chime in. Let me know what you think of this Lowe's location, because this Lowe's location definitely is super full. it was still my birthday week, I would totally justify buying this neon pothos hanging basket for $20.98, but I ended up not getting it just because yes, it is super full. Yes, it is gorgeous. Yes, it is my favorite plant, but how many more pothos neon plants do I need? You know, that's the thing about plants. You will not have the best quality of plants if you exude yourself with just having so many plants to care for. It becomes more of a stressor than a relaxing hobby. And for me, even if it's a pothos plant, they still require care. And if you have so many plants to tend, it's not going to really make the quality of plant keeping meaningful or enjoy. You know, you can't really enjoy yourself because you're stressed about underwatering the plant. You're stressed about having to get rid of potential pests, because the more plants you have, the higher probability that you're going to have a pest infestation. So just a little food for thought for anybody. And if you did see my plant keeper plant nursery video, you saw a mature version of a Dieffenbachia crocodile. This one has flat leaves, but if you watch that video, you'll see that as the leaves get larger and they mature, the leaves start to get that texture, that serrated tone, which I think is super cool. And then you can see right here, we've got an Aglonema green bowl. This is another Aglonema hybrid that Costa Farms has. And again, anybody that works for Costa Farms, anybody that has access to Costa Farms, can we all leave a comment to say, Costa Farms, please give us more Aglonema, source out Aglonema, mass produce Aglonema, have Aglonema for us, because Costa Farms is really good about getting lots of selections of genuses of plants. For instance, $15.98, we have a Ficus Audrey, but next to the Ficus Audrey, we have a Ficus Ruby and Ficus Taniki and Ficus Lyrata. All of them are on this shelf, and so I'm going to pick these up, but very cost-effective plants. Any of the ficus plants will require a lot of light. I would say if you're able to grow them in full sun outdoors, you will see rapid growth, better coloration, and just a healthier plant in general. In the Philippines, these plants can get up to 20 to 30 feet in height. They can be full-blown trees because that's really the environment they like. Ficus plants like higher humidity levels, more warm conditions, and definitely lots and lots of sun. I pan around here and show you this gorgeous Lowe's location located in White Rock, Dallas, Texas. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. I know it's been a little bit longer of a video. I know that I probably just ranted about things that are not necessarily related to plants, but you know, sometimes you just want to talk, and at least for me, I want to talk. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Again, please consider joining my YouTube membership tier to get more insights on some membership exclusive content. And then as always, my name is Richie at Growfolds. Please subscribe with all the notification bell on. And if you see videos popping up on the screen, click on them until I put out the next video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.